Back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Coming at you live from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show called Renovation Nation. A lot of you know who we are, what we do. You're here every Saturday. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Talked to a lot of people this week, and I meant to give out some shout-outs from last week, and I forgot. So I'm gonna come in hot today, then I'll slow down and go into a bunch of different things. I'm going to separate RTM Roofing from a lot of perceptions. And if you caught last week's show, it was perception versus perspective. And today is perception squared, but what you can do about it and how RTM Roofing separates themselves from others. Because, you know, there's a lot of roofing companies out there, a lot of siding, a lot of soffit, a lot of construction people out there. Of course there are. And we're all the same in the general bubble at times, but I'm going to sort of go into a little more detail how you can protect yourself, how, you know, just stick around. So let's get into some of this stuff today. Where are we going to start? I'm going to start by giving a big shout out to Mr. Ford, Franklin. He knows who I'm talking about. We talked for about an hour and a half. Oh, I don't know what it was. It's been a little while back, but wanted to give him a big shout out. We're looking at getting him taken care of for a bunch of different things, actually. He came, excuse me, he came with a lot of different things he had going on. So I want to give him a shout out. And then, about a week or two back, I had to go out of town real quickly on the weekend, and I got to run into a good buddy of mine down in Florida. And his name, I actually got to run into two. And, well, now I think about it, there was three. But I got to give the first one I got to give a shout out is, which the last one I saw was Tony Keats. And I'm going to try to get him on the show. He was in a band years ago called Janie Gray. And I've actually had Eric Brown, who was the bass player in that band and now plays with bass player for Larry Fleet. I knew both of those guys and got to see Tony. I hadn't seen Tony in a long time, and him and his wife, and it was great catching up. So I got to give him a shout out. What up, Tony? But what else? And then, well, let's see. Then Dave Shown. That's old school DB studio for you old Burrow heads back in the 90s, in the alt 90s. Man, my voice is going today. But got to see him down in Tampa, which was fun. Got to have dinner with him, and what's up, Dave? So I got to give him a shout out. I'm jealous of his Facebook posts, though. I'm always seeing water and fishing and food. And I'm not a big fisherman. It just looks good. But nevertheless, who else have I got? Then I'll get on to what I'm going to talk about today. I've got, another bass player. Man, this is like bass player day, even though Tony was guitars. That Randy Pryor, and he knows who he is. He's a bass player in Redstone and Satchel and 30 Miles South. Nope, he didn't do any 30 Miles South. But nevertheless, he had actually got some hail damage on his roof. He's in Murfreesboro. And it's from last May 20th, if I remember right, on the date. But nevertheless, come May 20th this year, if he doesn't do something about that, then it's not a claim. Anything, at least with his insurance, anything over a year from date of loss is, well, you missed your window. So he's in the process of doing some things. So I want to give him a big shout out. What's up, Rando? Okay, I think that's all. I think that's calmed me down a little bit. But today I was going to go back in and rewind a little bit from last week. And if you didn't catch it, you can go to YouTube and search a Standard Conversation or RTM Roofing Nashville, and you'll get to our page. Subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe, because that way you can go back and listen, and you'll catch the alerts, click, hit the likes, all that good stuff. A lot of people have been watching the reels. The shows, this whole show, yeah, like I've said before, sometimes you don't stick around the whole time. That's fine. I get it. Get what you need and get on with your life. Or get back to living, as I say. But where I'm going to slow down and go to a little bit is I got into perceptions and perspectives, and from the person on your side of the fence, the person on my side of the fence, and, what is the fence? Right? What is it really? And, well, I'm going to end it all daggum day. But the perceptions I wanted to sort of separate was the perception of RTM Roofing versus anybody else. I mean, there'll be some we're like some people, they're like us, and some we're not alike, but we're still all in roofing. And it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, no, you don't know what you don't know. And once you find out, and there's a lot of zeros on the end of it, that hurts. That's what I try to get across is I've made mistakes in my life. I've made a lot of mistakes. And I've paid for those mistakes. And the mistake was not knowing what I was buying. Oh, there were some other ones too, but but not knowing what I was buying, didn't know what I needed to know, didn't ask questions, just took it for granted, felt pressured, even though I laugh at myself like, what do you mean pressured? I'm not going to get pressured. There are great sales tactics or just techniques or just salesmen in general that's got a way of doing it that you don't even know what's happening. And that always amazes me because I never think I do anything like that. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. But the point is you should never feel pressure. You should never feel pressure. And so a lot of the perceptions of a lot of roofing companies nowadays, it's changed over the last 5 years, is that they're all door knockers. That's the way you get a roof. It's like the old Kirby vacuum sales, which Kirby was a really good vacuum. But where I'm going with that is that that's the perception, is that they're all door knockers. Well, we don't door knock. We'll knock on your door if you're next to a neighbor we're doing and stuff's going in the yard and just let you know all kinds of things. But we're not a company that goes up and down the street hitting every door. Now, you come out and flag us down, we'll stop at every one of them. But no, we get calls. We get leads. We get a lot of you that listen to this show call us. They call us at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page because I've noticed an error. Don't click the initial contact tab because it just goes to a page without the contact. Don't ask me. I'm getting it worked on. But no, just go to the website, scroll to the very bottom, and fill out the contact card. It's a big bright yellow box on the main page for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and now insulation needs, home insulation, blown in. Yeah. Where was I going? I don't know. Yep, back to the perception. We don't door knock. You call us. People call us with problems. We've earned our marketing not only from the show, which has been amazing, by the way, because I get to meet and all of my people get to meet people that's listening right now, you, and word of mouth. And me out kicking the streets. I do other marketing every now and then. I don't do a lot, but because we've been around long enough, our reputation is what it is. And apparently it's better than what might be in my mind's eye, because people find out about us and look us up by going to our website, rtmroofing.com. And, there's at least enough information there. And then it leads you to YouTube. And there's a lot of information there now. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of this other than just during this show. I've been trying to put up some other things and make it easy on you. And that's at a standard conversation, or RTM Roofing /Renovation Nation. So that's one perception. Another perception is they're just going to try to sell me a roof. It's like when you go and it's no offense, mechanics, but it's like when you go to a mechanic, you're waiting on you're going there with what you think's a simple problem, and the next thing you know, you're going to sell me an engine. I don't need a new car. We can fix this car. Well, at RTM Roofing, it's at least 3-to-1 repairs versus replacements. Number one. Number two, not everything needs a replacement. Number three, go back to number one. We do 3-to-1 repairs versus replacements. And when the replacement's needed, we're going to let you know. If a replacement's not needed, we're going to let you know. Easy. It's real easy. Now, sometimes there's some gray areas. There's definitely gray areas. That could, I always go back to my car analogy. The car's running, but things keep going wrong, and it's aged a little harder than it should have because you didn't change the oil in a reasonable amount of time. You changed it, but just enough. And, do you keep putting more money in it? Is it time to bite the bullet? Is there storm damage on it? Is it a claim? That's what we do at RTM Roofing. We're not all insurance. Actually, we're more retail than insurance, and we've done a lot of insurance. I can't tell you how many years, if we added them up at the office, of how many years of insurance that would be. But it's a lot. It's a lot. We've seen a lot. I've seen a lot in, what is it now, 15 years, 14 years, and we turned 10 last year. So, yeah, and it changes every year. It's not just jump on insurance for a second, it's not the same insurance claim it was in 2015. The game's different. Everything's different. Except when it should be covered and all that good stuff. But I'm not going to keep going on that because I did that last week, and you can find that on YouTube. You want to keep finding out some more perceptions of what RTM Roofing isn't or is. I don't know, perception, perspective, turn around, sideways. You're going to have to stick around to the show because you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's a good Saturday. Cold weather's coming. Yeah, it's not left us yet. Well, as the man said, come on back. See you in 3. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Are you the type of person that takes pride in your home? Let RTM Roofing help with the exterior, with your roof, with your siding, with your soffit, fascia, your gutters, your chimney caps. Home insulation now too. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom and fill out the contact card. Let RTM Roofing help you get ready for summer. We're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is. It's Renovation Nation time. Man, I'm glad to have the music back. Yeah, it's kicking now. It's kicking. That's music 2.0. Me and Kevin Torbitt and Donald Gordon there. Yeah, it was, golly, we did that in 2019. Yeah, or 2020. I can't even remember. Is it just me or the years flying by? Because that first segment flew by, and here we are coming in hot on number 2 because you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show. And today we're double backpacking. We brought 2 mules. We're tagging on the train we did last week. And tagging on the perceptions of, what RTM Roofing is and isn't. And because I have the perspective and I'm out there. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I'm nervous today. I don't know why I'm nervous. I feel like I'm getting ready to do a show or something, and but like in front of people. Anyway, I'll calm down. It's one of these days, I reckon. But the weather is starting. Well, not starting. The front's coming in, and it's going to be chilly tonight. If you've got some garden things out here in the next few days, you better be covering them up. That's what I'm thinking. Everybody it's been warm. It's been warm, but the cold's coming back, and I always talk about here about the expansion, contraction, and all that goes with your roof. But getting back into today's show, that the perception of what RTM Roofing, the perception of roofers to RTM Roofing, we were RTM Roofing to roofers. I don't know how to say it. I'm just trying to say, I'm going to tell you what separates us from a lot of the others. Not everyone, but all of them. But not everyone, but all of them. No, just here's who RTM Roofing is. Everybody else can tell you who they are. And so another one of those things, I've pulled up some lists so I wouldn't forget. They all say the same thing, use scare tactics. Well, we can say the same thing. If you've got hail damage, or if you've got a bad flashing, or your pipe boot flashing, or your step flashing, or your caulking, well, that's using the same words. They're not necessarily scare tactics. So we got to push a little bit off the perception there of what some people can be doing. They cannot know what they're talking about. But at the same point in time, we use a lot of the same words, and we are going to show you. We are going to tell you. We are going to document it and give you pictures, pre and post. Post if requested, we'll show you what we did. Definitely pre. If we come out and you've got an issue, need an inspection, whatever it may be, then we document that. I always say we are the most computerized roofing company in the state. I'll say it. I'll say it out loud. I'll say it for the cheap seats. But we're very, very computerized, which don't take that the wrong way. We're still very, very personal. But there's ways to streamline things and keep accountability. And, computers aren't perfect. Programs aren't perfect. Processes aren't always perfect because people are doing them. But some things slip through the cracks, and we fall on our swords and pick ourselves up and beg for mercy. And, it works out. If it doesn't, we understand why. We dropped the ball. It happens. Doesn't happen a lot, but it happens and has happened. So I always apologize about that. I want to be perfect. Well, I want about 1,000. I guess that's perfect, but I know it's usually a hard thing to do. But we've got a daggum good batting average. I'm proud of our batting average. I'd put us 900 at least. But at the same point in time, that's the words. Now there's scare tactics. There's the infamous, get their foot in the door and won't get out until you throw them out or sign. But be aware of that. That when you see it. But it goes back to ask questions. Ask questions. That's always very important. I prefer questions. It makes me nervous when people are just like, oh, yep, let's go, boom, boom. I'm like, whoa. Do you know what you're getting? Now, look, I'm ready to do your roof, but I want to make sure you understand why you're spending $19,000 out of your pocket. And it's not insurance. Now, we've already went through all that, but what are you getting for your money? We're already at this point, so you already understand that, of all the many, many words I use, but also all of my team, because we're very thorough. I mean, we're pretty thorough. And that's a good thing, by the way. I don't know, I'm sitting there thinking about 50 perceptions going on in my head right now, but it is good being thorough, because you don't have to fix everything, but you need to at least be aware of everything. That way you can make a decision. Is this system's critical at the moment? Is it not? Well, usually when it's with your roof, if there's some stuff that's preventative, hey, it's already dry rotting, cracking. You might make it through the summer, you might not. Most likely you won't, but there's always a chance you might. But it's the road ahead of it is very, very short compared to the road behind it. Sort of where I'm getting at with the birthday week coming up. That stuff that needs to be thorough, you need to know about. And now what do you want to do about it? If we want to go ahead and change it, I'd highly recommend it. Are we going to watch it over the summer and, whatever and all, something like that? You want to watch it? Fine. We got no problem with that. But I'm going to tell you about it. And so, that's what RTM Roofing does. He's only there. He's only here till the contract gets signed, and then he's gone. Yeah, I've seen that before. No, our guys, including myself, when I'm out, we're there from the beginning to the end. Now, during the process of your roof getting installed and all that, we're out of that. All salesmen are out of, roofing specialists, as I call them, are out of that situation, because at RTM Roofing, yes, the first person you'll meet will be the roofing specialist, any of our guys, maybe me. Then, once we've gotten to the point that we've earned each other's trust, and we're on the same page, and we're signed, ready to go, then you meet the operations department. Now, if you've got problems, of course you contact the salesman, but if not, you contact operations, because that's in their world right now. The roofing salesmen are out helping other people like they helped you. Now, when they're done, when operations are done, it goes back into the roofing specialist's lap. So he knows you. You know him. That's your main contact. Because another thing that we do, not intentionally, but it's just a byproduct, is we develop relationships with our clients. I mean, I'm good friends with a lot of my clients over the years. Still good friends. I mean, there's a 2 or 3, 4, 5 handfuls of who I call friends I've met. And some I've got their work and others I didn't. I still give them a hard time this day. But no, seriously, I understand. You know, I am there, or RTM Roofing's there to fix your problem, or number one, see if you got a problem, fix it, and go help other people. But at the same point in time, RTM Roofing is more relationship driven than sales driven. Now, you say you can't have a relationship or the company can't be there without sales, and that's very true. But the ethos at RTM is more of we help others. You know, take that with a grain of salt. Don't believe me, it's still true. But you have to find out on your own, and you can do that by calling 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com, the quickest way. Scroll down to the bottom of the main page, fill out the contact card. You will immediately get on our schedule, get an email, get a text, get a phone call. For all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and now insulation needs. Attic insulation. We're not doing walls or any of that. Attic insulation, blow-in. If you're in that boat, that's the river to get on. The RTM Roofing River. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Because we're not always just going straight ahead. We zig and zag through the canyons. Because we see a lot of roofs. We see a lot of issues. We see a lot of people taking care and getting proactive with their roof. We'll come back. You're listening to Renovation Nation. We'll see you in 3. Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Are you the type of person that takes pride in your home? Let RTM Roofing help with the exterior, with your roof, with your siding, with your soffit, fascia, your gutters, your chimney caps. Home insulation now too. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom and fill out the contact card. Let RTM Roofing help you get ready for summer. And you know we're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It always is. Every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Find your local listens on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yes, we are. And you can also, if you've missed this show or missed any of these shows, you can go to YouTube and search a Standard Conversation or Renovation Nation / RTM Roofing Nashville. You'll find us. You'll see some crazy, a bunch of shorts. I got a lot of shorts. Reels, shorts, whatever you want to call them. And of course, these shows that I do, I put up. So that way you can always have a spot to go back and re-listen, and if something caught your attention. Well, I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show, and yeah, we're back. We're back. I don't know. Today's another weird day, but I'm picking up. I'm feeling a little too much real time. Normally, I'm going through the motions and it's over, and I'm like, ooh, well, what happened? Yeah, I'm right in the middle of it today, so that's why I'm a little scattered for some reason. But nevertheless, yeah, let's continue from the last time we talked. Perceptions of RTM roofing compared to what most people think roofing companies or roofers or salesmen or what you want to get and all that good stuff. I do need to remind you, a little world update, the whole Iran stuff, oil stuff, I don't know how prices go up when it's still on the ground right here. But my point is that asphalt shingles are made with oil, or actually it's bottom of the barrel, they say. But the point is, yes, they're asphalt, so they're, got oil. Well, there's been some rumblings that we might be seeing some price increases coming. There's another factor that's not a scare tactic, but it's not a tactic. It's an educated statement that you need to take into consideration depending on your roofing situation. What do I mean by that? I mean, if prices are going to go up, they usually don't go back down. It's cheaper now to get it than in the future. Now, I can't tell you what the future is, but I can tell you there will be a price increase coming here sometime soon. It usually does anyway in the year, but now we've got that going on or not going on or whatever's going on today. Either way, the price is still what it is, which means all goods are going to go up. All goods. Yeah, and, this is a big ticket item. I mean, you know what the grocery store is like now. Wait about 6-8 weeks when it finally gets here. But to get back, I don't know why I got off on that. It's just been eating at me. But, and I'm on the butt now. Okay, here we go. Let's start over. Let's get back to perceptions. He's only there until the contract's signed. No, that's not RTM Roofing. He's only there with you up until the contract's signed, then operations comes in, and then he's back with you making sure everything's done right, collecting money, making sure everybody's good, and get you back on the yearly schedule. That's when we're there. And we're usually not the first top to walk in and go at the very same day and go, here's your price on site. We usually like to go back, sit back, study our pictures, redo it in our head, unless it's something super, super simple. That's a different story. But most times if it's, I like looking at my pictures and editing my pictures so you'll know what I'm talking about instead of saying, it's $450. For what? Oh, that up there. Yeah, right up there. Yeah, see that? I don't know. I don't see it. So I'm, as the buyee, I don't see anything. I see a roof. What are you talking about? Yeah, no, you're going to get pictures with RTM Roofing. So yes, we're not there just till it's signed that day. We're there throughout the whole process. And that's from the roofing specialist all the way through the company. That's RTM Roofing. He's not really technical, just good at talking. Yeah, I can relate to that. I'm not the most technical person you'll meet. I'm going to do that. Like I always say, golly, I don't have to know how to build a watch. I understand all the mechanisms in the watch. I can see the wheels and all the small detail. I've got to be able to tell time and use that watch. That's why I'm not a technical salesman. Now, if you want technicals, I can get technicals. Any of my guys, everybody's a little different when it comes to technicals and not terms as much, but how far down the rabbit hole you got to go. Because at RTM Roofing, we can go down that rabbit hole. If you want to go, we can go. But typically, I myself personally, I can't speak for all my guys. I can, but I'm not. They'll do it themselves. I'm not that technical of a speaker. You hear me? If you've heard me on the radio long enough, you know that. I'm more of a picture giver, meaning not just a physical picture, but let me describe an analogy. Let me give it to you this way. One of my big ones, a car. If you've got a bad pipe boot flashing, that's those white plumbing pipes that come up out of your roof. They typically have a black neoprene over that boot to not let water into your home. Well, I will relate that to a car tire. A car tire. You understand a car tire, what a tire is on a car? Yeah. You understand the cost of one tire? Yeah. You understand a tire typically gets 50 to 100,000 miles, depending on the tire? Yeah. Let's just relate that to 5 to 10 years instead of 50 to 100,000 miles, and let's replace the tire with your pipe boot. That's the way I will go about explaining it to you, which some of y'all are scratching your head and going, what did he say? Because I've said this a million times, more people spend more money on their car than they do their roof, and they do not sleep in their car anymore. I always laugh at that. I got to, because I've slept in my car with all my stuff in it. So that was my roof. So yeah, I put a lot of money in that until I shouldn't have. But now I have a roof that's over a home that is my car. My car just gets me where I'm going here and there. I live under my roof, and all my stuff's under my roof. So, I've said that a million times, but that's, again, the perception. We're not there just till it's signed. We're not going to be the most technical talking at times. If you need the technical information, we can give it to you. And I usually rate that after meeting whoever I'm speaking with, and some are, very detailed people. Others don't need as much, but I still make sure you understand what you're getting. That's the perception and reality. So, where else are we going? There's another one here. Number 6. They'll make money off insurance claims. Well, they'll make money off of selling at retail. Businesses are in business to make money so they can pay other people's salaries and so they can live their lives and so on and so forth. Yes, there's not a roofer out there that's a nonprofit I know of. Not saying there isn't. Maybe there is somewhere. But yes, it's in a business for profit. It's not a nonprofit. So yeah, the insurance claims, there is money. Where it shouldn't happen is the homeowner should not make money off the insurance claim. I'm going to say I've been catching a lot of my stuff with these reels that I jokingly say, well, I guess it might be, I don't know. But the joke of it is that if you are meant to make money off your insurance claim, because the claim is to replace what you lost. And if you were supposed to keep money after that, why can't you take a shingle off your roof and go buy a beer or a Sundrop or a Coke? Because you can't. Just the same reason you can't keep money after an insurance claim. That's not the deal. The deal is to replace what it is. Sometimes insurance is higher than what it can be sold for in retail. In retail, that roof might be $18,000. Insurance is paying $20,000. The roofer's got to do it for $20,000. You don't get to keep $2,000. That's not the way that works. Don't ask me why I didn't make the laws. I'm just telling you that's called insurance fraud. The insurance will want that $2,000 back. That's why they do a 2-check process, and I need to probably do another long insurance job. But yes, they'll make money off insurance claims. Everybody does. If they don't, they'll be out of business, and you probably didn't get a good roof. Even with the bad ones out there, you at least got a roof. So, yeah, of course they will. That was a crazy one. He's just trying to pressure me today. At RTM Roofing, if anything, we should probably pressure more, but we don't. We don't take our time, but we take our time to make sure we get you what you're supposed to get. Because the last thing I like doing is firing from the hip, then having to change that, because at RTM Roofing, we don't change our number unless it's wood related. Well, there's certain reasons why. There are certain change orders, but one out of every 1,000 jobs. But now with wood, different story. Wood decking, there's always usually a little wood decking at times. Sometimes there's not, but it doesn't matter. But no, we're typically not high pressure at all. Now, something very simple. I'm going to ask you if you're ready to go. You ready to go? Once I get this number, you ready to go? Yeah. Okay. If that's pressure, I don't think it's pressure. I think it's a question. Now, not leaving until you sign, well, that might be a little pressure. That's a little different. I don't like that usually. That's not the way you sell me. But what you sell me is by answering questions. Because I'm going to have some on anything. And I've learned they're the same questions on anything you do. Whether it's buying a car, buying a house, buying a roof. There's some foundational questions there that are pretty standard across the board. That's my perspective. Well, you're listening to Renovation Nation live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what I'm going to say. See you through. Hey, this is Chad with RTM Roofing and host of Renovation Nation. RTM Roofing's commercial division is looking for you. Are you a property manager? Do you own the building? Are you the business owner? You tired of leaks? You tired of chasing leaks? Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, fill out the contact card, and let us help you out. And you know we're back live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know what time it is? It's Renovation Nation time. Bum, bum, bum. Yes, it is. Another great Saturday, and thank you for sticking around. Got the best listeners in the world. Really do. Really, really do. Because I get to meet a lot of you. And I get to meet a lot of you through my guys. And, yeah. Got the best listeners in the world. Anyhow, I'm Chad Rowan, host of this crazy show called Renovation Nation every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. If you've not caught this show today, you can, it'll be Sunday or Monday, but you can go to YouTube, search A Standard Conversation, all one word, at A Standard Conversation, or search RTM Roofing. Again, that's the only RTM Roofing I know in Nashville. I found some others across the country, but they look pretty good too. I gotta give them that. But yeah, you can search RTM Roofing Nashville and find it, but it's A Standard Conversation. And that's what this really is. It's Renovation Nation, of course, but we're just having a standard conversation. I like talking like you're sitting across from me right now. It feels weird sometimes because when I see a microphone in front of me, it makes me do things different. But just sitting across from you, explaining stuff. I've learned my love is not just selling you something. It's the conversation. Because it's the way my brain works. I can think of a million questions. Then I go blank. But yeah, I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy the other perspectives. Because my perception, I realize sometimes is off. Sometimes I'm right over the target. I'm literally just right. Yeah, I'm with you 5 by 5. But when it gets to things that, either I'm explaining or you don't know, it fires me up. It really does. Because I want you to know. If you got a problem, I'm definitely wanting to earn your business, but I want you to know this because it's important. I'm not saying it just to kill time. Even though at RTM Roofing, we give complimentary inspections. They're not free. It's our time and our money. So yeah, if I'm having a conversation with you, I'm having a good time. Yeah, because it's my time. And, I put it where I want to put it, and meeting people is a great way to put it. And if I or RTM can help you out and fix a problem you're having or prevent a problem from having, that's a great day. That's a great conversation. At RTM Roofing, again, I'll say it again, definitely, we build relationships. Yeah, not with everybody. Not with everybody. I'm sorry, I got voices in my head probably, but telling me, not with everybody you don't. No, we don't. But a lot we do, because that's where it starts. Actually, it started by you calling us with a problem or just needing an inspection. And you can do that by calling RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the very bottom, fill out the contact card. That's the very quickest way to get a hold of us, because we have been getting a lot of calls. And if we miss your call, leave a message and we will return your call. But the quickest way to get our attention immediately is online. It's the website. It's weird. It seems like I'm going back antiquated, but it goes straight to our system. All your information you fill out, so if there's an error, you mistyped. So we get the basics, and you'll be on our calendar very, very quickly. Yeah, trying to figure out multiple ways to do stuff, but that's the best way, and it's for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and now home insulation needs. Blown in attic. Yeah, that's it. Okay, well, good people. Hope you had a great day. No, no, we got a few more. Here's another great perception. Commission only and gone after the payment. Yeah, that salesman, he just came out, he just wanted his money, and he's gone. Yeah, they're out there. That's probably me at one time in my career somewhere. But at RTM Roofing, no. We always say at RTM Roofing, I always say, how can you let me replace your roof if I can't repair it? If we don't know how to repair your roof, how are you going to let us replace it? That's always been a thing of mine. So that's why we do 3-to-1 repairs versus replacements. It's not because we just repair stuff unrepairable. No. That's called a replacement. Not just going to take your money. That's easy. That would be easy. Oh, yeah, so that's $150, $250. I can do that all day long on stuff that you would never know the difference. No, not RTM Roofing. That's the wrong perception of RTM Roofing. We're there to earn your business for the future. Not only to start off earning your business, but one of our top 3 funnels is repeat customers. Not because we didn't get it right the first time, because some of them has been with us for 10 years. Others for 9, others for 8, others for 7, all the way to this year. And so when they move, we move with them unless they go out of state. But as long as you're in the state of Tennessee, I'll go anywhere. Our zone's Middle Tennessee, but you move to Chattanooga and don't know a roofer, I'll make it happen. Especially if you're a client of mine. Already a client of mine, because it's sort of like finding a good doctor, even though we're not doctors. Once you find a good doctor, once you find someone that's good, period, that whatever you're getting or needing or wanting or whatever, you usually go back to that one because you know it, you like it. It 1 + 1 is 2, and they're there in the dark times too. That anybody can do great work and all go da, but you find the true colors of a company when things go south. And it ain't got to be the end of the world south, just south. Something didn't go right. Whatever it may be, it could be small or it could be big. How they handle it there, that's RTM. We're here for the long haul. So, yeah, that one's a different. And then, there was one that said here, I forgot. Oh, yeah, pushes for an immediate attention. They call that asking for the close. Well, yeah, if something's imminent, if your pipe boot's already allowing water in, there's already stains on your ceiling, and they're getting worse, that's pretty immediate. You should get that done ASAP. You remember, you called us with a problem. But more than not, if it's not those kind of situations, ball's in your court. We're going to give you a lot of information. Then we want you to come back at us with questions. Because we know a lot of people don't just get one estimate. That's great if you do, but I like having a couple unless I have a relationship with that company already. That's where I don't go multi-shopping because I already know them. I know what they do. I know their quality of work. I know how they back it up. If I've been with them long enough, yeah, that's a good deal. Saves me time. But if you've never replaced a roof and you're having issues, you don't know who to call. Good Lord, go to Facebook, and there's 5 million of them now. Not saying anything bad about them. I'm sure there's some great ones out there, but, it's a numbers game. Just like the door knockers do. They don't get everyone they knock because not everyone's got damage. Yeah, well, that's the same game on the opposite when you look to try to find one. Now they're, hey, Middle Tennessee's hot. I'm not going to say it's not. And that's a double-edged sword. It's good and bad. Nashville's still exploding. Yeah, it's tapered a little bit, but, it's really at neither. It's just, we've not geared down. We just went to a little gear and just cruising, and the RPMs are still RTMs. The RPMs are they're still tacking. That's a good thing. There's some places in the country it's not this good. But that also, the backside of that blade coming back out is it brings a lot of people here. And since a lot of people come here, a lot of new services come here, companies doing the same style services, and you've got to have that. You've got to have it. But roofing, to me, has become super oversaturated. And, maybe I'm just getting old. Yeah, back in my day, about a company a year. Well, 400 and something since 2023 in the state of Tennessee, and they're not all out in the county. Hey, competition's good. Ask questions. Ask questions. Hope you had a great Saturday. I did. Finally got outside of my own head here for a minute. That felt good. We'll come back next Saturday. Catch us on YouTube, A Standard Conversation. Because we'll be here 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. See you next week. Thanks for watching Renovation Nation. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button.